So the Mets have a guy who's been an all-star 5 of the last 6 seasons. So, Hannah, now that the Mets have a legit DH, how does that change their lineup?
Well, they have a legit DH, which is good because not a lot of teams do, actually. It's interesting. This will be the third consecutive season, if you forget 2020, where National League teams have the DH the whole way through. And a lot of teams are still adjusting to sort of figuring out how exactly to use that role. And a lot of teams have not been getting great offensive production from that role. And the Mets are one of those teams. If you look at last year in particular, they were 20th in WRC+. That's like an all-encompassing offensive metric out of the DH spot. That means that like 19 teams were getting better offense from their DH spot than they were, and they are only that high because actually Daniel Vogelbach was pretty good and he got the most of their at-bats. Mark Vientos, who was going to get the majority of their DH bats before they signed Martinez, had a 74 WRC+ out of the DH spot last year. And so it's been a bit of a black hole offensively for them these past 2 years. They've kind of tried to use it as a rotating spot. They use it as a chance for guys like Pete Alonso to get off their feet, get the sort of half off day. But guys are not always great at hitting in the DH role when they're not used to DHing. And so getting a legitimate DH who has proven that he can do that particular task well is good because there's just really no point to using it as this rotating off day if you're taking a hit offensively, because it's a spot in the lineup where you should be getting nothing but offensive production.
Yeah, even before he swings the bat, if I'm a pitcher and I know that JD Martinez is in the box or on deck, just having that idea in your head and trying to navigate the lineup, I think makes it different as well. But Harp, you got a scout's take on what Martinez brings. So what is the immediate impact that he brings to the Mets?
Yeah, well, just let me say, I think you're right about this. I think these teams doing this is kind of, it's become a trend, rotating DH type thing. I'm shocked that he fell to this level where the Mets could get him so cheap because he had a great year for the Dodgers last year, but there just weren't many places that teams that really wanted a true DH. So what he brings mostly is the guy's been a career RBI guy. He's one of the best RBI guys in baseball. You look at his numbers. And you talk about clutch, and I know there's different ways to define it, but he's got some spectacular runners in scoring position numbers. He's got a 925 lifetime OPS runners in scoring position, 935 lifetime with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. I mean, that over a career that spans, he's played 1,500 games. I mean, that's a ton of big-time at-bats. So I think that's what you're looking at as a guy that can protect Pete Alonso. Again, protection is something that, you can, hard to quantify. But the scout I talked to made the point that you put Alonso up in a big RBI situation, runners on base, and pitchers are going to be much more willing to throw strikes to him than they would be if it was somebody else besides J.D. Martinez on deck. So I think that's a huge part of it.
He also brings so much more than talent. He's a good mentor. He's proven that, and he knows how to win.
Well, you heard Alonso in one of those interviews also called him a baseball savant. He has this reputation as being this guy who really smart hitter, and it kind of has impact on what other guys on the team do.
He totally does. All right, let's make the call to the bullpen and bring in Jon Hein. John, what was your reaction to the Mets getting JD Martinez?
I was excited. I mean, you got to look at the deal. It's a very favorable deal. You got him for the right price. And what Hannah and Harp says is so true. He is a pure hitter, plain and simple. It reminds me of another Martinez, Edgar Martinez, back in the day on Seattle, where he's going to get his at-bats and he's going to drive in the runs. Protection in the lineup. He's a great clubhouse guy, and he's going to start in the minors and work his way in. But he slots in so well. And you look at that top 6 of the Met lineup now, and you're scared. Can hit both lefties and righties, so he's in there every day. And I know some people are worried about his age, 35, 36 years old, but he's DHing. He's not going to see the field, and that's a good thing. Yes, you want Vientos and Beatty, you want the kids to play, but when you can get a seasoned veteran like this who could just flat out hit, it's great for the lineup. And a lot of people, though Vogelbach did do a nice job at times last year, when you check off that DH slot, yes, the people who are hurt, they don't get to come back and work their way into the lineup. But it's J.D. Martinez we're talking about. I mean, this guy is an absolute all-star. If he could stay healthy, he's going to help this lineup tremendously. And Alonso and others, depending on how the lineup is made up, will benefit because you can't pitch around J.D. Martinez. You do not want to face him in clutch situations. That's where he comes through. He's got a proven track record. He is going to help this team win ball games. He can't pitch, but let's face it, he could flat out hit. And for the amount they got him and how that contract plays out, I think it's an absolute steal for the Mets.